What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and I'm so pumped about today's video because today is the day that we get even with the horrible police officer that brutally and illegally attacked my sales rep, Logan Baker. So in this video, we're gonna share his experience, how he was attacked by this police officer and then had to spend the night in jail, and how we are going to get even with this police officer. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, for months and months and months, this story has really frustrated me because a police officer came up to Logan while he was out knocking doors and for absolutely no reason approached him while he was actually in the middle of selling a customer up on the doors. Asked him to step away from the doors. He stepped away and then immediately proceeded to throw Logan to the ground, to get on top of him, to rough him up, to handcuff him, to then go and illegally search his car after putting him in the police car, and then bring him in, make him spend the night in prison, along with a myriad of other things. Logan was super beat up. He had scrapes, scratches. It was just a horrible, terrible experience, and we couldn't get a hold of him till the next day, so he had to end up spending the night in prison, or I guess in jail. Now, this was horrible. And unfortunately, things like this do happen in door-to-door sales because you've got crazy people behind the doors and you have crazy police officers. Now, I don't want to say that I don't like police officers. I love police officers. We need them. We're grateful for them. And there are many, many good police officers. However, this particular police officer was not one of those good ones. He was a piece of garbage, especially in the way that he handled this situation. If you want to see the full story, Logan talks about how there's certain things he wishes he would have done different, but you can click this link and see exactly what happened. But after that all went down, he was released and the charges were immediately dropped because they knew they had absolutely no case. What the cop did was just dishonest and wrong. He's literally a bully with a badge. And so as we've thought about this, obviously we've thought about taking the legal route. The only problem with that is you'd have to go back and forth between Texas. That's kind of one of the main reasons you're deciding not to go that route.
Yeah, it'd be a big hassle going to and from, taking airplanes and whatnot. It's just, it won't be worth the time.
The other thing is going that route and holding on to it doesn't serve you. Yeah. Where you've been able to let it go, you went on to have an absolutely incredible summer. You've just kind of decided to move on with it. We decided to find another way to get even with the cop. Now, most people would say, oh, go plaster his name everywhere, put his picture up on the wall, send it out to all of your social following, say all these negative things. And we've kind of decided to veer away from that approach, even though I do see the benefits of that, because if we were to take that approach, then people could, send him messages saying, man, this was kind of messed up, or hopefully send messages to his superiors so that they actually look into the situation when you were attacked for absolutely no reason, for knocking doors and doing your job and then put in prison. There are lots of benefits that could come from putting pictures of him up and letting everyone know so that hopefully it gets back to him and there's some form of repercussion for this messed up stuff that he's done. Yeah. But we kind of have decided to take a different approach. Yeah. One of my favorite quotes, and I don't know the exact quote, but essentially it is, don't focus on getting even with your haters or don't wish anything negative upon them, but alternatively, just show them how successful you are so they recognize where they're at in comparison to your success. Now, I probably didn't word that the best possible, but that's the approach you've taken. And so we really want to lean into that. And so this video is going to be focused on showing you how successful Logan was this summer, even after all of the trials and opposition and struggle he had to face from this stupid, ridiculous, frustrating situation with this dishonest and, I don't know, how would you describe the police officer?
Unfair.
Yeah, unfair, unjust, bully with a badge. So that's the approach we're gonna take. We are going to show all of the successes that came from the summer for Logan and how he's been able to let this go. And yeah, I do hope that in one way or another, this police officer gets his, even if it's just seeing this video and seeing how successful that you are.
Absolutely.
Guys, I want to be incredibly clear. We love police officers. I actually wanted to be a police officer. Well, I still kind of do. They're really cool. That's why I grew a mustache. And these donuts, you guys love donuts? I love donuts. I really love donuts. Probably a little bit too much. So we love police officers, especially the great ones. In 8 years doing door-to-door sales, I've had hundreds of interactions with police officers, and all of them have been good across the board. So thank you to our men and women in blue. Now, a few of our policemen, I won't say any names, but if you look them up on Facebook, they probably like donuts a little bit too much. Not gonna say who, but a little bit too much. This is a good one. It's called a fritter. The bad policeman, you don't give fritters. Or cinnamon roll donuts. These are just for the good cops, which is most of them, like 99.9%. Thank you, good cops.
This is not comfy. We gotta hurry this shot up.
All right.
Wait, you gotta wait until I get the donuts.
All right, so before you were approached by this police officer, how many accounts or how much revenue had you sold by that point in the summer?
I was at my peak. I was selling, I know revenue-wise, I was about $70,000 that month.
Wow, that's super. If you don't know, that's impressive. And if you don't know what exactly we do, we're door-to-door sales reps that sell pest control door-to-door. And we sell 1-year contracts, and those contracts are anywhere from $600 to $1,000 depending on what the customer needs and what services they're getting. And you get paid a commission percentage of the contracts you sell. And so $70,000 in 1 month, that puts you on track to get a 50% commission. So that's like $35,000 in earnings in a month. Now this happened, how many months had you been working when this happened?
I'm not positive on that.
It was like July.
Yeah.
So you still had August, you're towards the end of the summer. It was mid-July, you still had August, maybe a little bit of September. We usually have them work about 4 months. After you got approached and then ended up spending the night in jail after getting roughed up, what happened to your production for the next couple weeks?
It was hard, definitely for a long time. I think the biggest thing was having all that momentum and then everything comes to a stop. It was really hard on me for a long time. And working through all that, it took a couple weeks for me to actually be able to get out on the doors and feel comfortable and confident enough in myself to, continue to produce.
Yeah, well, I
would say, if I may, I would say you had a little bit of PTSD as well.
Oh, it was,
big time. Like you were worried, that anyone was going to call the cops on you and you were going to get something on your criminal record for good for not having done anything, because that's what happened the first time.
Yeah, I knew I was on thin ice like right after all that stuff happened, and then honestly just being able to get out by myself was making me nervous. I just didn't want anything to happen again.
It's one thing if a customer or a random person that you knock on their door does something to you, because it's like, oh, they're crazy, right? But when a figure of authority comes and you feel like you've done everything right, you had the proper licensing, you weren't having any issues with that customer, you're having a very good conversation, you even thought that they were gonna buy until the police officer came up. Having all of that momentum and those good vibes and everything, and then a figure of authority coming and not only literally tackling you to the ground, beating you up, illegally searching your car, making you spend the night in jail, kind of makes you question your faith in humanity in general. Like that really can mess up your head, because it's like, man, I thought this guy was here to protect me.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're there for. They're supposed to protect us and make everything more safe, and it was exactly the opposite of that.
Well, and really, I get a little bit from a cop's perspective. Maybe you give them a little lip and it's like, hey, you can't do that. And I can understand a cop maybe being frustrated or irritated or having a bad day, but I think that's what is really hard about this line, is it's like you are never, ever justified in tackling someone to the ground, treating them this way, lying so that you can get them to spend the night in jail. Like that is so extreme. So I totally understand how that'd mess with your psyche, but I know both me and Garrett called and we're like, crap, this kid was on fire. He was on track to be the #1 rookie rep, and we were pretty sure it was gonna throw you off kilter permanently. But it didn't. You kind of got your feet back under you. You went back to work.
You sent me that book, Taking the Stairs, I believe it was, and you were just talking about how a lot of people get in this dark hole and it's hard to climb yourself out, but you just can't stop that momentum. So as soon as I felt comfortable with myself again and being able to get back on the doors, I just full throttled it.
So sick. And you went on to then sell over the course of the whole summer. You're over $300,000 in revenue, weren't you?
Yep.
So for you guys that don't really know, this puts you in a place where you ended up making like money in your pocket, over $100,000 your first summer doing this. It also put you as one of our top rookies. I think you actually tied with, or were right there with 2 other guys as far as being the #1 top rookie in our entire sales force. Lots of people will have negative situations, but there are very few people that are in a situation where they can take a very big negative and completely flip that around into a massive positive like you have. So you've now made over 6 figures this summer. You're building a team for next year, probably on track to make $200,000-$300,000 this upcoming summer. You just bought yourself a brand new truck. Can we go look at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have something to say first.
Oh yeah.
Choose the right. Do not do the bad thing.
First off, Garrett covered our table in donut guts. But one thing we did want to share, and it was a quote that you found, which is, the best revenge, do you remember it?
The best revenge is massive success.
Yeah, and that was really the point we wanted to get on this video. I love the mindset that Logan has taken, and he's really just buckled down and been willing to leave this in the past. And I do think that's the best way to go about it. And I think all of us deal with challenges, struggles, trials, a myriad of garbage. Some of it that could have been controlled, some of it that can't, a lot of it because of other people's poor decisions, and a lot of it because crap just happens. And the best solution for any situation like this is just to double down and be more successful than you already are. Work harder, do a better job. And I really appreciate your mindset, because this would have wrecked a lot of people, but that's what you've decided to do moving into it. So,
absolutely.
My man. Sorry about the office. It's under construction right now, but we're getting it there. And oh man, this is a pretty sick truck. Your truck makes Garrett's G-Wagon look kind of small. This is one of those many successes you can kind of rub in the face of opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
This is beautiful. Check that out.
Pretty nice.
We also got you to move to the promised land here in Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Yeah, it was a great decision.
Have you liked it so far?
Yeah, being surrounded by these guys, it changes everything. I mean, you surround yourself by people that drive everything like this. It just, I don't know, it builds up your momentum and just you want to be like everyone else around you.
Definitely. We're also working on helping you get into your first investment property.
Yep, shooting
in
for
the
January.
Works. And I do think that people don't realize how important it is to surround yourself with the right people, because when we get to hang out on a daily basis, you know, you're talking about different things and you're leveling up, and it's really exciting. So I guess last note, you're building a team right now.
Absolutely.
To go out and do the same thing next year, hell or high water. And if more bad cops come with it, which I don't think they will, because I do think now when you get approached, you're gonna be very, very careful with how you handle the situation.
Always on thin ice.
If you wanna come out and work with Logan, make sure you go to www.elitesummersales.com and you can come and apply to work with us. And if you want to work with Logan specifically, you can request that. He's an absolute stud, and we'll set up an interview for you. We don't take everybody, but those that we do take have an incredible experience. And one other thing that's really cool about Logan, a lot of people have worked with us just because they've found us in different ways. But how did you find us?
I found you guys on YouTube.
Through the YouTube channel.
Yep.
So in the course of the last year, you found us on YouTube. You went out and made 6 figures in a 4-month summer.
Yeah.
We talked you into moving to Idaho, which it's not required to move to Idaho. You just get to come hang out with us every day. You were one of the wise ones that came and took advantage of it. And now you're...
Logan didn't apply for the job until
2 weeks before
March,
the summer.
April as well.
Yeah. So he also missed out on a bunch of training. If you apply now, you can get in early and train with us more consistently until the summer starts. But it wasn't too bad for you, the way that panned out.
No, I would recommend getting a jump start on the training and whatnot. I mean, 4 months can change your life, and they can get you anything you want. So it's pretty crazy to be around this environment.
So awesome. Well, guys, I love this story. I love your experience. I'm way excited to see what you do this upcoming summer. And again, I really hope that this success story gets back to one person in particular. If only one thing comes out of this video, I hope that that one person in particular takes a step back and says, all right, how am I handling myself at my job? How am I handling myself with other people? Am I being someone that I'm proud of? Or am I being someone that if the world could see the way that I was holding myself, that I would be disappointed? I hope that this causes change, and maybe it'll get to the person I want, or maybe it'll get to someone else that recognizes they need to change the way they're doing things, because crap like this shouldn't happen. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell. And if you know anyone over in Texas or anyone involved with the police over that direction, please send this video to them. It would mean the world, and we would love nothing more than for change to happen. And honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, Logan, but if this police officer were to just call you, we would probably make another video and say, hey, like, he recognized he messed up, he apologized, he attempted to make it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd probably just throw it under the rug and move on and never say another thing about it. And if anything, maybe even make a video about how cool that is that he would do something like that, because crap like this happens all the time, but it's rarely that people own up for it unless they're forced to. So,
Yeah,
cool. Well, guys, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos.